At sea, in the pull of the wind, I stand lonely on the deck of a ship, rising, falling, wild night around me, wild water under me, whipped by the storm, screaming, calling. Earth is hostile, and the sea is hostile. Why do I look for a place of rest? I must fight always and die fighting, with fear an unhealing wound in my breast. Dust. When I went to look at what had long been hidden, a jewel laid long ago in a secret place, I trembled, for I thought to see its dark, deep fire. But only a pinch of dust blew up in my face. I almost gave my life long ago for a thing that has gone to dust now, stinging my eyes. It is strange how often a heart must be broken before the years can make it wise. The long hill. I must have passed the crest a while ago, and now I'm going down. Strange to have crossed the crest and not to know. But the brambles were always catching the hem of my gown. All morning I thought how proud I should be to stand there straight as a queen, wrapped in the wind and the sun, with the world under me. But the air was dull. There was little I could have seen. It was nearly level along the beaten track, and the brambles caught my gown. But it's no use now to think of turning back. The rest of the way will be only going down. Summer storm. The panther wind leaps out of the night. The snake of lightning is twisting in white. The lion of thunder roars, and we sit still and content under a tree. We have met fate together in love and pain. Why should we fear the wrath of the rain? Change. Remember me as I was then. Turn from me now. But always see the laughing, shadowy girl who stood at midnight by the flowering tree, with eyes that love had made as bright as the trembling stars of the summer night. Turn from me now, but always hear the muted laughter in the dew of that 1 year of youth we had, the only youth we ever knew. Turn from me now, or you will see what other years have done to me. Did you never know? Did you never know long ago how much you loved me? That your love would never lessen and never go. You were young then, proud and fresh-hearted. You were too young to know. Fate is a wind, and red leaves fly before it, far apart, far away in the gusty time of year. Seldom we meet now, but when I hear you speaking, I know your secret, my dear, my dear. The treasure. When they see my songs, they will sigh and say, poor soul, wistful soul, lonely night and day. They will never know all your love for me, surer than the spring, stronger than the sea, hidden out of sight, like a miser's gold, in forsaken fields where the wind is cold. The storm. I thought of you when I was wakened by the wind that made me glad and afraid of the rushing, pouring sound of the sea that the great trees made. One thought in my mind went over and over while the darkness shook and the leaves were thinned. I thought it was you who had come to find me. You were the wind. The tree. Oh, to be free of myself, with nothing left to remember. To have my heart as bare as a tree in December. Resting as a tree rests after its leaves are gone. Waiting no more for a rain at night, nor for the red at dawn. But still, oh, so still, while the winds come and go, with no more fear of the hard frost or the bright burden of snow, and heedless, heedless, if anyone pass and see on the white page of the sky its thin black tracery. At midnight. Now, at last, I have come to see what life is. Nothing is ever ended, everything only begun, and the brave victories that seem so splendid are never really won. Even love, that I built my spirit's house for, comes like a brooding and baffled guest, and music, and men's praise, and even laughter are not so good as rest. Red maples. In the last year I have learned how few men are worthy of my trust. I have seen the friend I loved struck by death into the dust, and fears I never knew before have knocked and knocked upon my door. I shall hope little and ask for less, I said. There is no happiness. I have grown wise at last. But how can I hide the gleam on the willow bough, or keep the fragrance out of the rain now that April is here again? When maples stand in the haze of fire, what can I say to the old desire? What shall I do with the joy in me that is born out of agony? Debtor. So long as my spirit is glad of breath, and lifts its plumes of pride in the dark face of death, while I am curious still of love and fame, keeping my heart too high for the years to tame, how can I quarrel with fate, since I can see I am a debtor to life, not life to me? Wind in the hemlock, steely stars and moon of brass, how mockingly you watch me pass. You know as well as I how soon I shall be blind to stars and moon, deaf to the wind in the hemlock tree, dumb when the brown earth weighs on me. With envious dark rage I bear stars your cold complacent stare. Heartbroken in my hate look up, moon at your clear immortal cup, changing to gold from dusky red, age after age when I am dead, to be filled up with light and then emptied to be refilled again. What has man done that only he is slave to death, so brutally beaten back to earth, impatient for him since his birth? Oh, let me shut my eyes, close out the sight of stars and earth, and be sheltered a minute by this tree. Hemlock, through your fragrant boughs there moves no anger and no doubt, no envy of immortal things. The night wind murmurs of the sea with veiled music ceaselessly, that to my shaken spirit sings. From their frail nest the robins rouse, in your pungent darkness stirred, twittering a low drowsy word. And me you shelter, even me. In your quietness you house the wind, the woman, and the bird. You speak to me, and I have heard. If I am peaceful, I shall see beauty's face continually, feeding on her wine and bread. I shall be wholly comforted, for she can make one day for me rich as my lost eternity.